Hello everyone. Today we're looking at animals and sounds in music. So to do this, we're going to take a look at composer Camille Saint-Saëns in Carnival of the Animals. So he wrote this piece for fun, all about different animals, and we're going to see the different sounds that represent them. How can we create sounds for animals through music? Well, let's take a look at Camille Saint-Saëns' Carnival of the Animals to see how he did it first, and then we'll see how we can do it. So, Saint-Saëns was a composer, which means he wrote music, and a piece he wrote for fun was called Carnival of the Animals. And they have lions, swan, kangaroo, lots of different animals, but I just want you to see if I can show you how it works. Okay, so a little kind of game, I guess. Think of a swan and of an elephant. They're both completely different, aren't they? We've got a graceful swan that might glide across the water. And then we've got a really big elephant who kind of probably spuds the ground when he walks. Okay, do you think that piece of music for the elephant and the swan's going to sound the same? Probably not. So I hope you kind of came up with that answer. Have a little listen to this piece of music. And I want you to think, do you think this could be a swan? Or do you think it could be an elephant? Have a little listen. Okay, I'm just going to give you a little snippet there. Okay, but what do you think? Give you 2 seconds. Well, it wasn't the elephant. The elephant, I think, is going to sound a little bit different, that graceful, beautiful, smooth sound. Okay, so can you see how we can get the music to work for us, representing the character of an animal or the way the animal moves? Okay, now there's another interesting picture here, and this is a picture of an instrument that is used in the Carnival of the Animals. This is a glass harmonica. It's quite unusual, and we don't always have them, but this is what it is, and it creates a really beautiful, magical sound, which you'll hear very soon. But we have strings playing in here, like a violin and a cello. We have a flute, a clarinet, and this glass harmonica here. And sometimes we have to use the glockenspiel now, but isn't that really cool? It's quite an unusual instrument, the glass harmonica. So let's have a look at some of the animals Saint-Saëns wrote for. This is the lion. Lions are quite proud, aren't they? They're the king of the jungle. Okay, so what you're going to hear is a piano kind of trumpeting his arrival. Look, something's coming. And then you hear this sound, the strings coming in, and it's quite proud. Okay, just like a lion would be. So let's see if you can imagine the lion coming. Have a little listen. So we could hear, couldn't we, the piano there kind of going, oh, somebody's coming, somebody big's coming, and then this strong sound of the strings coming in, telling you the lion's coming. Okay, so that's our lion, all big and strong. And now to the elephant. Okay, the elephant's probably not the king of the jungle, but he's certainly rather big, isn't he? Or she. And this elephant music that Saint-Saëns wrote is shown in the double bass. Can you see the big instrument that I've got on the screen? This is the lowest sounding string instrument, and it's really big. Okay, so it's quite interesting that the elephant is also really big, that the instrument Saint-Saëns uses is the biggest instrument in the orchestra. It makes the lowest sound. You're going to hear some quite short sounds as well. Shall we have a little listen to the elephant? Okay, so we could hear that was a really low sound and kind of something a bit like the elephant with that instrument being big. Okay, so let's have a look at the next animal. So the next animal is a kangaroo, and I'm sure you all know what kangaroos do. They jump. Okay, and in this music we're going to hear kind of jumping sounds. When you jump, you go high and then you come back down. Okay, and I imagine kangaroos doing kind of short jumps. Okay, so you're going to hear kind of short notes going up and then coming back down. So like a jump, going up and back down. Okay, I'm sure you'll hear it straight away, full of energy. As we could hear that sound going up and coming back down, from low to high and high to low. So that's our kangaroo. You could really hear the jumping sounds there. And then this is the swan. Now I know I had let you listen to the swan a little bit earlier, but swans are so graceful and beautiful, aren't they, on the water? You don't really see their feet underneath the water, but there's a piano staff. It's almost like the feet are paddling underneath. So that's the piano part. And then the cello, which is a big string instrument as well, a bit smaller than the double bass that we saw. The cello comes over the top with long, beautiful, smooth notes. So that like the swan is gliding across. Let's see if you can imagine that while you listen to it. Really beautiful and smooth, isn't it? You can imagine that graceful swan there. Okay, let's take a look at another one that sounds low. And this was for an aquarium. So an aquarium is where you can keep your fish in. So it can be quite magical, can't it? Watching fish kind of swim around their tank. Okay, so and here you can see the glass harmonica, because you can really hear the glass harmonica in this, and I think creates such a magical feel. I want you to listen to it. You might already have heard it a few times before because it's quite a popular sound. So let's have a listen. Doesn't it? It just makes you think of kind of magical, mysterious waters with fish swimming around. I really enjoyed that. I hope you did. Okay, so now we've listened to Sanson's version of his animals. Okay, we can have a think about doing some of our own compositions and descriptions. Choose an animal first. Okay, so on your worksheet you can see you've got a choice. You can have an elephant, kangaroo, a lion. It doesn't have to be from the Carnival of the Animals. It could be an animal that you have at home. Okay, there's lots of other animals too. There's a cuckoo and there's hens in the Carnival of the Animals, turtles. Okay, so anything you like. So I'm just going to say maybe let's start with an elephant. So I would put elephant in the box. And then the description of the animal. Is it scary? Is it jumpy? Is it graceful? Is it proud? Like the lion was quite strong and proud, wasn't he? And he was like a king. But my elephant would probably be big, clumpy. Okay. And then what musical description could we give? So we could use words like loud or soft. Okay. Like the swan would be soft, wouldn't it? Soft and graceful. But the elephant might be quite loud. The lion might be loud. When it roars, it could start soft and give a big roar and then come back down again. Do you think the animal could be fast or slow? So that could tell you if, say, the elephant could start slowly walking like that and then get faster, faster. If there was a stampede, maybe, or are the notes going to be smooth like the swan, lovely and long? Are we going to have short notes, a bit like the kangaroo when it was jumping? Are they going to be high or low sounds? So in the aquarium, there were quite high tinkling sounds, weren't there? As well, for that magical sound. Or are they going to be low like the elephant because it's a big instrument that's playing it and it's a big character, it's a big animal? And then when you've decided all of those things, how are we going to make those sounds? Okay, so I know you probably don't have lots of instruments at home, but it doesn't stop us from making them. Well, you've got hands, you can clap, you can tap, as you've heard me doing. You can maybe get a wooden spoon and a Tupperware tub to make a drum sound, okay, or feet on the floor for the animal, like let's say that elephant. You could put some clunky boots on and step up and down, and you can record these sounds that you make. Okay, so it'll be quite fun to have a go. And there's lots of other things you can do as well. Why not go and have a listen to the rest of the animals? Okay, create a poster. Welcome to the carnival, and then you could have your elephants and your lion, your kangaroo, all of the animals there. Okay, most of all, have fun with it. Create a dance routine. The Swan is famous for having ballet dancers dance to it, so you could create your own dance to the Swan. Right, everybody, I hope you've enjoyed having a little look at Swan's Carnival of the Animals today, and I hope you've got some great ideas to make your own sounds for your animals. Bye everyone.